Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Thank you for all joining us here. My name is Mr. Pravetti, and I'm the Vice Principal and the School District Rep here to help oversee the meeting for Jimmy. This is his IEP meeting. We are here today to talk about Jimmy, and I think we should do some introductions before we actually get this meeting started.
All right, I'm Mr. Burnett. I am Jimmy's general education teacher.
My name is Mr. Jones. I'm the school psychologist.
Mr. Brady, I'm the special ed teacher for Jimmy.
Okay, and I'm Julie John. I'm Jimmy John's mom.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So the purpose of today's meeting was Jimmy was referred to the problem-solving team by his teacher, and Mr. Burnett would like to talk about a little bit from where we are with his current levels, and we're going to go over his current needs and where he is within his educational plan. If anybody has anywhere to go, anywhere to be, we just let us know. Give us a heads up.
I'm good.
Just wanted to go over the rights a little bit before we get started. I'm going to give you a copy of our parents' rights, so you can read over that in your spare time. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I have a copy
Good.
here.
You have
Yeah,
a
I'll
copy?
just take a
That's
look
great.
over here.
Okay. If you ever have any questions or concerns about Jimmy John, please contact me. Please contact his teacher, his special ed teacher, and we can always make revisions to the plan as we go along. We're going to get the meeting started now and start going through where his present levels are.
Do I need to sign off on anything before I get started, or?
We'll usually do the signatures at the end, or should we do them now? If you'd like, that's fine.
Well, probably would be good to just discuss things.
Okay,
as we're
that
all
sounds good.
agreed.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure how that went.
All right. So when we're looking at Jimmy's levels of performance, what was concerning to us as his teacher and special ed teacher was his reading levels.
Okay.
And when we looked at the reading levels, we looked at letter naming fluency, letter sound fluency, and we looked at these two criteria at a couple of different interventions. In September of 2003, we looked at his letter naming fluency.
Okay.
And his expected performance were 20 letters per minute, and he was able to do just 5.
Yeah.
And so that gave us a little concern. So in November, we did the letter sound fluency. Does he know what letters make certain sounds?
Right. And he struggled at home also.
Right. So
yeah.
The expected performance was 7 letter sounds,
Okay.
and he was at 0.
Oh wow. Okay.
And we decided to do the letter sound fluency again in January, which was a couple of months later. And the expected performance at that time was 16, and he was at 1. And in May, we did another letter sound fluency evaluation, observation rather. And by that time of the school year, children were at 36, and Jimmy was at 6.
Wow. Okay.
So we're seeing a huge discrepancy into where students are at an average as opposed to where Jimmy is. So this is our concern.
Overall, cognitively, though, as a school psychologist, we looked at a lot of other factors that could have brought it into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think through the team that we found that a lot of the normal placement categories for Jimmy were fine. His vision, there wasn't any problems there as far as we were concerned. The hearing, full hearing, motor impairment, there was no visible or cognitive disability that we could see as a school. His emotional behavior disorders, there wasn't anything present there. environmental, cultural, or economic variables, and lack of scientifically based instruction in basic skills. So what we kind of narrowed down in is basically the specific learning disability of reading comprehension.
Reading comprehension. Okay. Yeah, he's, I mean, when he's at home, he's a really good kid. He gets along with everybody else in the family. I mean, you mentioned the vision and the hearing. I mean, he hears pretty well. So, yeah, he seems pretty healthy. I mean, overall, he was born fully healthy. He only missed a couple days in kindergarten and in first grade. Just normal kid stuff. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
and Jimmy's
that
definitely
you
a pleasure to have in class.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Any behavioral issues, behavioral problems.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So, speaking on eligibility, the IEP process, we have to eliminate certain things and get ready so we know what Jimmy's needs are and will he qualify for special education. We are recommending it as the course goes through, but just to give you the information you need. As I said, there's no vision or hearing or physical impairments that he exhibits that would be the source of his learning problem. And that's why we want to go with the recommendation that we do, that it is mainly just focused reading and it's a specific learning disability. That means, according to our the legal framework of that we have to eliminate other things.
Okay. So how did you all reach that point? I mean, you mentioned some of the sound fluency and the letters and all that stuff. Was there like testing involved?
Scientific-based interventions. We did a series of interventions with Jimmy. I guess the special ed teacher and the schools that I was explaining to you better.
Okay.
But we're on page 3 of our evaluation.
Okay.
We discussed what we did as a staff to evaluate Jimmy, and we did that. Was it 2 or 3 separate interventions?
We did two
interventions
so far. So this is, I guess, our discussion. We run a third. Our first, to get into that, we had Jimmy. We wanted to put him in a smaller group setting, and we used the PALS, which is the Peer Assisted Learning Strategies. This is a system of strategies and coaching. One of the big focuses of it is that we get small groups. Like the group we put him in, instead of being in the full classroom instruction, we got him reading in a group of 7 students with a teacher, just with those students directing it. And this group met for 3 days a week, and each of those was 20 minutes. We did progress monitoring, which is a fancy way of saying we checked up on how he was coming with it. We did this by having him read small sections that we timed, or flashcards for word recognition, that kind of thing. And these were compiled by a paraprofessional.
Mrs. K. She's his personal care advocate.
Oh, okay.
She's with another student right now.
Oh,
since
gotcha.
Jimmy's sitting over there, being so nice. By the way, thanks, Jim.
So we have.
Chill on the Doritos, though, Jimmy.
Okay, so so that unfortunately didn't get us to our goal, which was 49 words correct per minute, and that we set that goal, and we wanted to keep that. And this was observed by school psychologists to ensure the integrity of that it was being implemented appropriately.
When did they meet and discuss that? When was that, Mr. Jones, again? Just so Mrs. John knows, when did we start that? That was back in...
May of 2005.
Yes.
Okay.
Just making sure we're on top of our dates here, people.
Right.
And so then we moved on. We were, at this point, not in Jimmy, but that the PALS wasn't working for him, that project. So we met again in January, and we want to discuss another intervention to bring him up to where he needs to be. And so we had at that point, he had a base of 5 words correct per minute, and the goal was 20 correct per minute. At that point would have been on track. So since he'd only gone up to 5 and stepped up to 20 at that point, that's when we decided we're going to change what our intervention was going to be. And so we replaced the teacher-directed PALS and changed to a smaller group of 5. This enabled him to get more individual attention with the teacher and have less delay between when the teacher will be able to one-on-one with him. With only 5 students.
Okay.
And these interventions happen in a general education setting, and
Okay.
they were in our class, and they were evaluated by the special education teacher.
I see. Okay. So what happens next? I mean, what can I expect for my son? I mean, now that we did all this testing for him and he's still kind of struggling, and you mentioned the specific learning disability.
Well,
with the testing, we've zeroed in on that it was a specific learning disability. So now with that, and recognizing that it is affecting your students' education, we're able to bring in the idea of developing an IEP, and that's why we're here. So we're going to get you funding and different programs to intervene in your students' learning throughout the school.
Okay.
All the decisions that we make today are through consensus, and it's all a team-based decision.
Okay.
So at any time, if you have input, if you have recommendations, if you're seeing something new at home, just inform us. Like I said before, this document is not set in stone. We are able to change it, revise it, build upon it throughout the entire school year. So just make sure that we put your mind at ease, that he's in good hands.
Cool. I
and we
appreciate
did,
it. Yeah,
and we did come up with some goals that we wanted to
Yes.
run by you in order to see if you agree with the recommended goals we came up with.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing I would like to point out at this point is that he has come up to 15 correct words per minute, which is still well short of the benchmark we're aiming for, ultimately, but he is making progress. But we would like to see superior rate of progress, and that's why we want to move forward. And so I don't want you to, feel that he's not achieving at all. But just, we want to address these specific struggles. So.
Okay.
So I guess we should start discussing what our goals are going to be for this school year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we focused in on 3 different goals here. The first one, obviously, one that we've been testing a lot is the word recognition per minute. So what we're going to try and do there is, and this is all developmental, so what we're going to try and do is establish goals that we can have our team, hopefully meet either what we're looking at is month by month. So the first one is the words correct per minute. We're going to attempt to increase that by 5 per month, so that in 9 months he'll be up to that 49 words per minute. On top of that, we're also going to attempt to increase the letter sound fluency during the testing. We're hoping to get him up 2 points per month, so that in that time he'll be expected performance of the 36 that we want him at right now. And then on top of that, we're also going to factor in the letter naming fluency, which is also going to be increased by 2 per month. So basically, as a team, we'll be able to see and determine if what we're doing for your child is effectively working by the end of the month.
Okay.
Monitoring his progress, keeping on top of it.
So, do you think that reaching that point, maybe he seemed to respond really well to some of the smaller groups. So, do you think that's going to continue? Is he going to be pulled out of the classroom? What's going to happen?
Well, what we want to do is keep him in the least restrictive environment
Okay.
that we possibly can. And because he's doing well in other areas of study, I don't think we're gonna have to have Jimmy in a special education classroom for the entire day.
Okay.
When it would just be
for math, for example.
but just right, because he's doing well in math, doing well in science,
Yeah.
well in art and social studies and things of that nature.
Mhm.
So
They've already, reduced that group number from
Yeah.
7 to 5, so
Right.
he's been put in a group
In
with a
smaller
smaller.
group.
yeah,
Okay.
and so he'll just be utilizing special ed services during reading and for other like educational supports that he may need throughout the day.
Okay.
Good.
And we were talking about working on a program to give him more motivation, so he can see himself, his progress, and this will help him hopefully stay on task. We had some success with a sticker chart.
Yeah.
It's
He really likes stickers, yeah.
So we make little goals through each class to help keep him on task. When he stays on task for a specific amount of time, get a little sticker. And
his sticker chart's portable, so he can take his sticker
Yeah.
chart when he's in our room. He can bring
Okay.
his sticker chart with him.
That's good.
He's in other classes,
It's
he can bring
school-wide.
his sticker chart.
Okay. Maybe I can try that at home too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
Okay, so what we want to have his whole reading content moved to a small group setting in the resource room. So that will be his reading period will be in there. That will be a transition. Hopefully, this way it'll be more intensive sitting to delve just for the reading. But as you said, for most of his subjects, he's doing well enough. And the reason we want to do this that intensely with the reading is because as the grades go on, the reading, if he doesn't catch on, he'll start to have more difficulty in other subjects, such as social studies and science, where a lot of reading is required. Right now, we're not asking him to read textbook chapters and at that level now in first grade, but that will change in only a few years. So so we want to get him in a real intense reading program, and that will be in a different classroom. The rest of his day will be
In your classroom?
that's
Okay.
regular education classroom.
So would he be in the special education room or the different room every day?
Yeah, we 5 days a week, and
Okay.
it'll be the same schools. So don't worry about any
Yeah,
additional
nothing's gonna
busing
change.
or moving
Oh,
around.
that's really
It's just
Same faces.
it's just
that
down the
you've been
hallway
seeing.
and around the
Okay.
corner there.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So, I guess now we're going to talk about his offer of free and public education, which he is entitled to in the state
Okay.
and through the district. And that's as a school district and as your school district, we're going to work for Jimmy and for you as a family to help improve his scores. Some of the next steps are we're probably going to have a meeting in the next 9 months.
Well, 6
So,
months from today.
6 months from today, we're going to have another meeting,
Well,
Okay.
and we're going to continue to monitor his progress. His teachers are going to give valid input.
and the IEP also has to be, you have to title the IEP. We signed up.
Yes, yes.
There should be another meeting coming. We should probably meet, how long will it take to get the IEP typed up?
We'll have
30
to tell
days.
him. Yeah, we'll try to get it sooner than that, but no later than that. And then we'll put in all the nuts and bolts about what program we want to do. At this point, what we want is, do you approve of us making
Yeah,
up
we
an
just need your
IEP and
consent.
putting the
I'd
legal
say-
process?
So we would just need your consent on this form.
Okay.
Whenever you get to it.
Okay.
That just says you're authorizing us as his individual education team to continue to make progress.
Okay.
and grow.
I mean, this is definitely something I want to do. I mean, obviously, he's a good kid. He
Yeah,
just
see,
needs
it's
a little
great
bit
pleasure to
more.
have at the school.
Yeah, he just needs a little bit more focus. So once I do sign off on it, how quickly does all this start taking place? mentioned something about 30 days?
Well, once we have the actual IEP document ready and all the specific
Hard copy.
hard copy, yeah, everything specifically laid out, well, we'll meet again, and that would be within 30 days. And
Okay.
at that point, if you agree to the recommendations, we don't, if you agree at that point, then we will implement within 10 days. We'll be
Okay. That sounds good.
sit around on it.
All right.
All right.
Well, I am very much looking forward to getting him to where he needs to be.
Great.
So I'm going to
Great to
sign
hear.
off on this, and then
Do you have any other particular concerns
Questions,
or
concerns,
Um,
comments?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess as we go along, we'll find out more about, his progress. I mean, I definitely want to be up to date with everything, so I guess the communication needs to be there.
And we have, everybody has everybody's email.
Yep.
We all have your contact information.
So,
and we're
yeah.
gonna keep in touch. And once again, nothing is set in stone. It's
Okay.
always interchangeable, and we can always revise it and go back to it. This is a living document that we're going to be working on throughout the school year.
Great.
So we appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
meeting
very
with us
much.
and-
All right.